Hello and welcome to my next video on PTE basics and PTE setup. Today we'll be talking about basic things about PTE examination that happens when you sit in the examination hall. So today we'll be talking about microphone testing and microphone positioning basically. So let's start with microphone testing. When you sit in the examination hall, the first thing that you have to do is you have to test your microphone. So on the screen you can see a box that says record, and when you press record, so you will there should be a box that will say record. And when you press on record, the recording is on. And then you have to speak something in your microphone. You have to say something like, hello, hello, mic testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. After that, there's a button called playback. You have to click on playback, and then you will hear the recording that you just recorded. You just spoke. Hello, hello, mic testing 1, 2, 3. So that is recorded, and you are pressing playback now. So when you hear that playback sound, there are three things that you need to consider. One, if you don't hear anything at all, that there's something wrong. Second, if you hear your sound, if you hear what you just said, but you hear it in a very low loudness, the loudness is not as equal, as good as when you said it before. So the loudness is very low. There is something wrong. And the third thing is that you might hear it with the same loudness, but then you might hear some disturbance, like so you might hear some disturbances. If these three things happen, then you have to raise your hand, you have to call the invigilator, and you have to tell them no, let them know that there's something wrong with the microphone, so please fix it, and do not proceed until the invigilator fixes your microphone. There should be some problem with the setting or the wiring system or anything. So they have to fix it before you move ahead. If you proceed, what happens if you proceed? So let's say, for example, you were doing the microphone testing, you press record, you said, hello, hello, mic testing 1, 2, 3, you press playback, then you heard the sound, but then that was very loud, the loudness was very low, and you continued, you thought that this is what it is, so you just continued. So what happens if you continue is that the computer will also hear whatever we speak in read aloud, repeat sentence, or describe image. Whatever you do, the computer will also hear it in the similar loudness, which is low. So you that might affect your marking in speaking, especially. So that why, and you don't want that. So that's why if there's an issue, you just have to raise your hand, call the invigilator, and they will fix it for you. So the next thing we're going to talk about is microphone position. For that, let's take another microphone, because this microphone doesn't have a microphone head. So let's use this microphone here, which has got this head. So in examination, the best microphone positioning for you is between lips and chin. So there are multiple microphone positioning. Some people like to keep it just in front of the nose. Some people like to keep it in front of the mouth. Some people like it to keep it in front of the chin. And some people put it in between the lips and chin. So in between the lips and chin is the ideal microphone positioning for you. But you don't have to touch the skin. You can't touch the skin with the microphone head. You have to keep it 3 centimeters in front of the skin surface. So that's around 2 fingers. So there should be a gap of 2 fingers between your microphone head and then the skin surface. So that is your ideal microphone positioning in between lips and chin. If you are wearing a mask, let's say the invigilator told you that you have to wear a mask, but you were not prepared for it. In that case, if you are wearing a mask, you have to tilt it up and just keep it in front of your mouth, in front of your lips. So put it in front of your lips if you are wearing a mask. Otherwise, you have to keep it in between your lips and chin. That is the ideal microphone positioning for you. So once you have the microphone positioning set up, the next thing you have to set up is your table. The only thing that you can carry inside is your passport and the locker key. Keep it at the furthest point from you as far as possible, because you don't need that during the examination. The only thing that you need is the keyboard, which is in front of you. There's a mouse which is wired, and then you will receive two erasable pen and erasable copy. So if you can see here, you will receive two erasable pen and erasable copy. Make sure you check if the pen writes properly or not. That's like a Sharpie pen, which is erasable. Um, so both the pens that you receive, that should be able to write properly. If one of them doesn't work, ask for another one. And always keep the lid on. Always keep the lid intact. Don't leave it open, because the ink from the tip of the pen evaporates and it won't write few words for the first time when you try to write it. So always keep the lids on. That's one thing you need to consider. And then the copy is like a laminated A4 sheet. Some test center provide you extra, but most of the test center will just tell you to rub it off if you ran out of space. If you're running out of space, you can simply rub it off because it's erasable. So that's it. And then after that, the next thing is unscored introductory section, which is also a very important part, but it is unscored. So what you have to do is the computer will give you 1 minute to introduce yourself. And in that introduction time, you have to say what your name is, what your address, what do you do, why you are giving this test, and what is your hobby. You just have to speak for 15 seconds. Just prepare yourself to say something for 15 seconds. You don't have to be fluent. You don't have to worry about your accent or anything at all. Just prepare something and just say it. So if I were you, maybe I would say something like this. My name is Sachit Malla. I'm originally from Nepal, currently living in Melbourne, Australia. I'm working as this, or I'm studying this subject. I'm giving this test to apply for a new visa or to apply for a student visa. My hobbies are singing, dancing, and making TikTok or whatever. You can say whatever you want. So that's it, guys. So that's a bit of introduction for you. And after that, the real examination starts, which is read aloud. And for read aloud, you can watch my next video, which is already in my YouTube channel, which is a very amazing video, especially for those who are starting speaking, PD speaking for the first time. That's it for today. Don't forget to subscribe my channel to learn more and more about PTE. This is PTE with Sachit Malla. Thank you very much.